Hello Internet, and welcome to my live reaction for the Cuckoo's Fiancé, or A Couple of Cuckoos, chapter 128. When we last left our heroes, we got kind of our biggest example yet of just how vastly different the worlds that Nagi and Erika grew up in are. As after Nagi returned home from his date with Hiro, Erika, on Soichiro's orders, dragged him out to a fancy soiree celebrating the opening of Soichiro's new hotel in Okinawa, as Nagi, as Erika's often sort of seen as kind of the ditzy, dumb character compared to sort of the brainiacs like Nagi and Hiro, it was really nice to see a situation where that was very much reversed, where Erika knew what was going on, knew sort of what was appropriate and what wasn't, and was very much the one in control of the situation while Nagi kind of floundered. And then we end with Erika comes out fully dressed for the soiree. There's this metaphor of Nagi being sort of the peasant boy at the noble's castle, to which Erika corrects him that she is the princess of this castle and he is her fiance, which all feels sort of tied up with Nagi having a girlfriend now, and maybe Erika staking some kind of claim into him. And now Nagi has to go get dressed for this big ol' soiree. So let's pick up with Hiro, actually, who is texting Nagi post-date, because this is still the same night as the date. It's just been a very big day for Nagi. I had fun on our date today. Thanks. Let's make up for using your plan B next time. But she sees they're both unread. As a word of note to people watching, if you somehow don't know at this point, and maybe the way that Japanese phones use text doesn't really allow for this, turn off your read receipts. Don't let people know if you read their text or not. They don't have that right. But she's just refreshing her phone, waiting to see that he's read the text. And she's sort of disappointed. Umino-kun? I wonder what's going on. We have a very similar shot to one of the money shots from last week's chapter for our cover. 128th foul, I want to give a proper answer. And who that's about, and what answer that's about, I assume we'll see later on. I'm assuming it's going to be a Nagi-Erika thing, as that's sort of who are the main players in this Okinawa story. But we do see that the soiree is in full session. People are hanging out in the pool. They're all, silhouetted, because even Yoshikawa can only go so hard in her art. But we see Nagi dressed up, his, bangs parted, looking very uncomfortable. But also, it's a nice, white suit. How do I look? He's, visibly trembling in it. And Erika gushes, "You look great, Nagi-kun. It really suits you." And then she laughs, I think. And I'm curious if that's meant to be a bit of a tsundere, not quite tsundere act, because that's not really soon her I think bit. But a bit of a, she's into Nagi and then she sort of oversteps and kind of takes a step back. Or it's a reference to Nagi's discomfort. Because when Nagi responds, "You think?" I mean, it just kind of looks like somebody made you wear it. Because, yeah, he's not really, owning that suit. And who made me wear it in the first place? And Erika tells him, "Well, you couldn't show yourself at the party in those peasant clothes, could you?" Which is, again, continuing the metaphor from last chapter. Right. This is the first time I've stepped into such an extravagant world like this. As a host, what do you think I should be doing to entertain the guests? And Erika thinks about it for a sec. Well, just wing it. Erika, of course, is so, in tune to this world. She doesn't have to think. She just does it, because that's her entire life up to this. Not quite her entire life up to this point. She's been with Nagi for 6 months, I think, or by now. But still, she knows this. And Nagi just tells her that's the one answer I was dreading. Anyway, just come. Let's start by going around greeting everybody. No, wait, Amino-san! And they're not just, going around shaking hands. They're addressing the entire party. "Dear guests of the Amino Palace Hotel, thank you all for coming today to our opening party." And I don't think any of these guys have seen Nagi, though I'm curious if they would either, clearly recognize him for Soichiro's son, or potentially mistake him for Sosuke. Because, it's been established how much he looks like Sosuke. I'm curious, all of these guests around who know the Amino family, know Soichiro in sight. It might be the fact that the anime has just sort of been covering some of the Sosuke stuff, that I've got kind of Sosuke brain going on. But this might be the moment that, not the moment that the Sosuke plot gets resolved or something, but the time it's been a while since like that's been a relevant thing. I don't think we've really brought up Sosuke since Nagi and Erika's escape from the hotel, when Ritsuko told Nagi save Sosuke. I don't know. Like, I feel like it's been a while. I feel like that's the last time we heard anything about that plot, though. We welcome you to our humble establishment, and hope you all have a great experience at our hotel. We will do everything in our power to make that happen. We see Erika's, like, owning the room, and Nagi's just standing there, mic to his mouth, but not talking, like, visibly sweating. We hope you continue your journeys with us at Amino Group Hotels. And the crowd sort of claps, you know, not like a roar or something, but like a polite rich person clap for Erika's little speech. And Nagi just thinks, what do I even do? And Erika's being congratulated by the rich people. Erika-san, that was an amazing welcome address. Thank you very much. It was very impressive, and Nagi's just standing off to the corner. Well, I guess I should leave it all up to her then. Beats messing up in a place like this by a long shot. And he, like, sits on the stairs, his man taps him on the shoulder, and the font choice, I think, is meant to be English, though it was a little bit... We know during Erika's initial greetings that she was speaking English at some point. There was one bit where the font got real blocky, and I thought that might be English, and that's the font we see here. So I think this is English. Excuse me? And then I think he moves into Japanese because the font changes again. I have a request for Erika-san. May I see her? Also, san would not be used in English at all. Though maybe an English speaker who knows Erika's Japanese might throw in a san for, like, the sake of politeness. I don't know. But also, Nagi understands what he's saying, so I think this part is Japanese. Yes. Amino-san. And Nagi calls her away. Could you come here for a second? There's this guy, Nagi-kun, and she's talking to, I think this is an androgynous-looking person. In what, like, I'm trying to work out even what those clothes are. But she turns back to them. I'll be back later. And they think Nagi-kun, which makes me think this person might be important. Because, like, going back to the rich people from earlier, like, they were barely... Even the guy that talks to Nagi, who gets some deal of focus, isn't, like, terribly well-defined. But this person looks like there's, like, a whole character design for them. I don't know. I'm curious if this is going to be a person... Because, like, even if just as people are getting a sense that Nagi is connected to Erika, like, even if this is meant to be... Either this is meant to be this character is important to that, or this is kind of symbolic of the crowd starting to realize this guy has a tie to Erika. I'm not sure. And Erika turns away from the Hawaiian shirt guy in, like, a huff, and Nagi asks, what'd he say? Well, in a nutshell, I had absolutely no idea what he was saying. So yeah, it was English earlier. I got that much right. I thought you could speak English. I told you before, all I know how to do is just wing it. I can't understand anything complicated. Is that so? Well, I guess there's no helping it if we can't get through to foreigners like him. The language barrier is just too thick. But Erika holds up her hand. Wait. Still, I want to give a proper answer. Okay, that's our title line right there. Not about, you know, their actual character dynamics, but about Erika and some guy. So I'm gonna maybe give an undue importance to this, because title lines always feel important. And I'm gonna reckon that, like, this is tied to Erika sort of growing up. She sees, you know, given Soichiro's abandonment of Sosuke and Nagi not really being an Amino, I think she sees herself as, like, maybe she sees herself on some levels the eventual heir to the Amino hotels. And so being able to deal with customers who speak English is sort of part of the job description. Still, I want to give a proper answer. And Nagi just looks at her, what are you on about even? I mean, he came all the way to Japan for this, right? That's true and all, but I'm going to go hear him out again. And she, like, leaves. Wait, Amino-san, maybe we should find someone who can speak. And she just runs off, leaving Nagi alone, and he calls, wait, Amino-san! And she tries to sort out... I think this is meant to be an interpretation of the American trying to speak Japanese, but then translate it back into English because this is an English translation. Japanese porku fry raisuboru, which I think is, which the translate, or like the words up top say Japanese pork fried rice bowl, is what he's asking for. Yes, I can't forget the taste I ate in Japan when I was young. Does this hotel offer it? It's been a long time wish of mine to taste the flavor again. Interestingly enough here, the second two pronoun I's in his line there, I ate in Japan when I was young, are not capitalized. And maybe, like, you know, while the font turns out to, I was correct, signify English, I think putting any weight to that is, like, a bridge too far. I don't know what's going on there. But Erika's almost has the idea what's going on here. I think he wants to eat something. Pork, fry, rice bowl is nani. So it's sort of, because like nani of course is, for anyone who knows their memes, what in Japanese, but it's in the English font. So I don't know, I feel like I'm reading Blue Exorcist with all the like the font discussions, or that bit in Into Your Eternity where I was convinced that Mizuha's fonts were like significant and not just the thing that every single character was doing. But also the fonts here do seem significant on some point. Cause like, but like it still is weird that like the font that's been used to speak English is Japanese there. And then Nagi knows just enough to work it out. I guess maybe because he works at a restaurant. Is it katsudon? Japanese pork fried rice bowl. And the English, I think he's an American. I've been saying American, he just speaks English. Yes, katsudon. That's right. But Erika tells him, we don't have that here. We aren't a diner after all. Nothing. And the man looks upset. Oh. And Nagi gets on to her. Amano-san. I mean, we just don't have what we don't have. But Nagi, who grew up in a restaurant, tells her, did you forget my specialty dish? Please wait here for a moment. I can see how this could lead to problems, though, because Nagi, you know, was brought here, as was mentioned on the plane last chapter, as both Erika's fiance and Soichiro's biological son. But now he's running to the kitchen, which I can't imagine Soichiro Amano ever doing. But also, in a nice parallel of earlier, when Erika rushed off to help him through the language barrier, Nagi is rushing off to go serve food, with a very similar line from Erika. Wait, Nagi-kun, which very much, you know, is the exact same word choice, given their respective ways of addressing each other, as Nagi on page 10, wait, Amano-san. And Erika tells him that's definitely asking for too much. Which is, for a second there I thought that might have been a line that Nagi said to Erika earlier, but no, it's not. So it's not quite that big a parallel. But he barges into the kitchen where the chef is. Oh, if it isn't Erika-sama, did you need something from the kitchen? And Nagi is just gleaming. Whoa, so this is the kitchen of a high-class hotel. It's amazing. Can we make katsudon here? And all of the chefs are stunned for that. I guess katsudon is like a lower class, like, you know, Erika mentions a diner, which is several steps below, like, this fancy hotel. I guess it'd be like, maybe, I'm not familiar enough with Japanese, so I can't, or Japanese culture, so I can't quite say if it's a direct comparison, but, like, asking for, like, chicken nuggets at a fancy restaurant, maybe, is a close comparison. I don't know. But Erika stops him. Nagi-kun! Nagi looks around. Looks like we're good in terms of ingredients. And as far as cookware goes, but Erika tries to stop him. I'm telling you, the concept for this hotel is a palace. We can't offer anything Japanese. So part of it is not just like a wealth thing. It's not a upper class thing. It also is the sort of European style of the hotel. I also, though, love Nagi, like, taking a chef's outfit and putting it on. Like, that's just a good little character beat. But Nagi tells her, and that's all the more reason to. We're going to use that to our advantage. It's not every day that you get to come to a party and serve a ton of people a good katsudon, right? And the chef is looking at him. It's somewhat unclear if... Oh, I want to put this in comparison with the androgynous person from a while ago. That Nagi-kun is not this guy and Erika are connected. I think it's that they thought that Nagi was Sosuke. And to hear the word Nagi sort of shocked them. And I think on some level, we're seeing that with the chef. That, like, you know, this person who looks a hell of a lot like Sosuke is being called Nagi? I don't know, we'll see. But Erika's confused at Nagi's point. What's that supposed to mean? And he makes it, but it's not, like, served in a bowl or nothing. It's just, like, rice and a bit of pork and some sauce on a spoon. Sorry to keep you waiting. Your katsudon is served. And Erika's just stunned. How is this katsudon? There's not a bowl in sight. They're just spoons. It's completely different. And Nagi tells her exactly. It wouldn't be possible to prepare enough bowls for this many people. But if we do it like this and serve it in a way that's easy to eat at a standing party, the flavor is still just the same. And the American tastes it. How does it suit your taste? And he announces, oh my god! And yeah, it worked. It made him happy. It tastes just like the katsudon I ate in Nakameguro when I was young. It's as if the memories of those days came back together. Why does it taste the same? Are you by any chance the cook's apprentice at that store? You are genius! Marvelous! Is he? Because Meguro... What's this? Meguro... Is it this series or is it School Live? It's Meguro Gawa. Because I feel like that's one of the two. Meguro Gawa is here, yeah. Meguri Gauka, I think, is... Yeah, Meguri Gauka is School Live. But Meguro Gawa is where the most of the series is set. Nakameguro is not the same thing. And I'm trying to remember I remember the broad strokes of Namie and Yohei's backstory, but I don't remember if the restaurant was, like, part of the backstory, if they started the restaurant later. Because it might be he was, like, at Uminote, like, decades ago. Maybe Meguro Gawa's name changed at some point, I don't know. But that Meguro feels relevant. Feels like not a random detail. So I don't know. Maybe I'm looking too hard at this, but it feels like it's a... You know, he mentions it tastes the same. Are you, by chance, the cook's apprentice at that store? The Meguro in the city name. I think it might have been at, like, an early version of Uminote, like, decades ago. And Nagi turns to Erika for a translation. What now? I think it was good. And all the rich people taste it. What a strange dish. This is katsudon? Which that does feel like a rich people don't try poor people food. Because also, tying this together to Uminote, the sort of lower class diner restaurant, the rich people would not try it. And a little girl tastes it. Yum! Sure is busy around here. What's going on? And Erika sort of turns to Nagi. So instead of the villager, you were actually the hero? And Nagi pulls back to that, like, isekai metaphor he briefly brought up last time. Like, where you're reborn but overpowered. And someone calls out to Erika, a fine eye for talent you have, man. What a wonderful cook you've brought with you. Okay, so that's the chef again, who, in the exact opposite of my initial impression, that he was mistaking Nagi for Sosuke, like, I still think the androgynous person might have been. He sees Nagi as an employee. And the American agrees, yes. And Nagi's stunned, huh? You're more than welcome at our hotel, please. And the American in Japanese, I want to eat it again. And Erika announces in what I think is meant to be, like, a bad, like, Japanese attempt at English. To the point where looking at this, it feels kind of racist to read aloud. Which, like, I don't think it's meant to be, because it's written by a Japanese person, but still, Cuckoo is uncomfortable. No, we're engaged. He doesn't cook, is what she's saying. I'm not really quite comfortable reading that again. And the two guys stop as Nagi... because this is the first announcement of that amongst everyone. Which, of course, because Nagi just got with Hiro, announcing that engagement to all these wealthy people is definitely not going to stay here. You know, this is probably the first time that, like, high society has found out about this. And so it could, because, like, the only people who knew were, like, the main characters, and then Meguro Gawa for a second before they all disbelieved it. But now Erika's out here saying that, like, to all these rich people, this is her fiance. That could spread very quickly. And maybe that's part of Soichiro's scheme. I just assume everything is Soichiro's scheme at this point. But everyone reacts engaged. Him and Miss Erika? And Erika somehow did not suspect the large reaction there, even though she did just announce it. What? And oh, okay, so what Nagi says is you choose to be engaged to somebody. It's not the word for something only your parents decided, which is a weird thing. Because that, like, the something only your parents decided is the way this series has been defining the word engaged from chapter 1. So this idea that all of a sudden it doesn't mean that is weird. I don't know. Like, the series hasn't exactly separated the idea of engagement and being a fiance. It's never really separated those two things. They're the same thing in the lexicon of the series. So, like, the fact that this confusion is happening, the fact that, like... Oh, so I think maybe it's not meant to be a word choice issue. It's more they've been using this term, but I think what Nagi might be saying is that the rest of the world would not assume a sort of arranged marriage situation here, because that's so out of the ordinary. That's my best interpretation for that bit. Erika's been using it, as she's been using it all series, to say, you know, we're in this arranged marriage situation, but no one else is aware of that. And so they all hear engaged, and their mind jumps to in love. And the cook bows, his head whacking Nagi in a fun gag. I didn't know. I must apologize for my ignorance. No, it's not. And he feels the hit. And the people all ask Erika, is it true, Erika-sama? Since when? Now the future Amino group is secured. But Erika just tells them, whatever. And just, like, gives a wink, not really clearing anything up, as Nagi tells her, no, this is terrible. And then we see someone cast on the Katsudon. This Katsudon, it's quite good. But wasn't Erika, and it's, I guess, not androgynous, because he comments to himself, but wasn't Erika my fiance? Who is this man? Nagi's forceful rival makes his appearance. Okay. So, I'm gonna take a moment to ponder, apparently Erika's fiance, because for a while I've been saying it's been looking like the series might, potentially, this being a harem manga, can always, I remember, like, the little, like, lull period in Nisekoi, right, where, like, the series could have moved to its final arc at any time, and then just did some random adventures for a while. But, like, to say could end soon is, like, always something to take with a grain of salt. But, like, the series has been moving in the direction where it could end relatively soon. Get all my qualifiers in place before I make a big claim like that. But, with the way it's, like, it wrapped up sort of Sachi's storyline, the way that, assuming Nagi Hiro is not meant to be, either Nagi Hiro is meant to be endgame, which no one has suspected so far. Even I think even, like, Nagi Hiro shippers are like, yeah, the series is building towards Nagi Erika. But, like, with this Nagi Hiro dating storyline, either they're together and that's sort of the endgame pairing, or it's the kind of arc that, like, wraps up the possibility of them being an endgame pairing. Either way, the way the sort of, like, dating hero thing is set up feels like the end for the romantic prospects of one of the two main romantic leads, which is not, like, a small thing to wrap up. And so, I've been saying for a while, especially with Erika sort of realizing her feelings for Nagi after the M1, as weird as those sort of bits have been in the aftermath of that arc, it sort of led to the sense that the story could be ending. That it is slowly, in the way of a harem manga, wrapping up its loose threads to reach an ending within the next year plus. Was like, I didn't think it was ending soon, but, like, not less than a year, but, like, not... I was starting to think it wouldn't even be as long as Nisekoi at, like, 220-something chapters. And still, there's a lot... Like, even an inclusion of a new... No, I'm gonna restate what I hadn't actually thought out how long will the series last. Honestly, I was starting to think it might have been less than a year, just with the way things were wrapping up. And now we have this new inclusion to this sort of love polygon. Let's say love polygon. It's confusing and, messy at this point with a new inclusion, with a sort of potential, Erika getting her own mini harem in the background. So he's definitely someone to sort of keep an eye on for at least this arc. It might be, either he'll become a new regular character and sort of, along with the kind of Nagi and the girl chapters, we might have Erika and this guy chapters. I don't know. The thing to wonder with him is how long is he meant to be a how long is he meant to be an important character? Is he going to be like a big thing for like a few chapters? Or will he take an eye roll, a sort of late arrival who comes back occasionally? I don't know. So we'll definitely keep an eye on him. He seems to be like, either way, he'll be very important for at least the immediate future. But then there's the rest of the chapter, and I really like the sort of parallels we're seeing in... I just love the way this chapter sort of expands Nagi and Erika as characters. The way they're both sort of rushing to help this guy. Like, there's this one guy that they need to help, and he can't easily be helped because they don't speak the language and they don't really have they seemingly don't have the tools to help him on his way, to help him with what he wants. And so both Nagi and Erika take it upon themselves to find a way to help him. And I think that's a really good bit of growth, a really good showcase for both of them, and the ways they are both so similar. Like they each rush off to help him in their own ways, each with the other having almost identical lines. Nagi's "Wait, Amado-san" on page 10 being mirrored by Erika's "Wait, Nagi-kun" on page 13. And while I like this as a showcase of like, while they both have the things they are good at. Erika has the ability to sort of communicate with these upper classes, and Nagi has his skills in the kitchen. And by working together, and only by working together, are they able to solve his problems. And that random little detail of he may have been a customer at Uminote at some point in the past is maybe something to keep an eye on. If this guy will become a recurring character, but I kind of doubt it. Certainly not in the way that Erika's quote-unquote fiance is. I don't know. I could wonder why Soichiro would... I mean, the fact that Erika maybe has another arranged marriage going on just makes Soichiro even more confusing, because, sure, let's make Soichiro weirder. Though it might have been a sort of, like, childhood promise that, like, Erika forgot about because she was 5 or something going on with this guy. I don't know. But he's definitely someone we're gonna have to keep an eye on. And then Erika's just sort of, like, blunder of accidentally announcing her engagement, which very well could have been a Soichiro plan. And maybe even this guy, if Soichiro invited the supposed fiance and Nagi and Erika, this could have been an even more weird plan of Soichiro's. It's the sort of thing he'd do. That's a Soichiro move, and we all know it. I don't know. There's just, as this party's going on, there's just even more to see. And I just sort of can't wait to see what Yoshikawa is going to do with all of this next. So with that said, I'm going to leave this video off here. Hope you all enjoyed the chapter and the video itself. If you did, feel free to drop me a like or subscribe, or, do whatever makes you happy, And as always, your life is your own, okay? Bye!